Scrap fur is a great way to use up leftover yarn. Even small lengths of yarn like this one will do. First, we need to cut the yarn into pieces of equal lengths. And the easiest way to do it is to use a template. You can use small notebook, or you can use 2 fridge magnets stuck together. It helps to have a kind of a slot, so where we could insert the scissors when we cut the yarn. That makes cutting much easier. Take the template, align the yarn strands, and wrap them around the template in one layer, like this. Then take your scissors, insert them into that slot, see, it's very helpful, and cut through the yarn. That's it. Now we have our pre-cut fur. The backing of the fur is worked in stockinette stitch, and to add the fur element to a knit stitch, first we insert the tip of the right needle into the first stitch on the left needle from left to right, just as we do when we knit a stitch. And then we place one of the pre-cut strands onto the right needle. You can fold the strands beforehand, but I find it easier and faster to fold each strand as I put it on the needle. If you hold yarn in your right hand, then it's easier to place the strand with your left hand. Then you don't let go of the yarn. If you hold yarn in your left hand, then it is easier to place the strand on the tip of the right needle with your right hand, again, so that you don't let go of the yarn. That makes knitting much faster. And then once the strand is on the tip of the right needle, we push it through the stitch, but we don't slip the stitch off the left needle yet. Instead, we insert the left needle into that strand from left to right, so that the left needle is at the front of the right needle. And then we push the right needle a little bit to the left until it enters the stitch. See, now both needles are in the stitch and the strand. And then we wrap the tip of the right needle with the yarn as we do for knitting. It doesn't matter whether you use your right hand or left hand. Simply wrap it as if you are knitting these stitches, because we are knitting them through the back loop. So we pull the wrap through and let go of that pair of stitch and the yarn. And finally, we find the ends of this yarn and pull it tightly. And at this point, if you see that one end is shorter and one is longer, so that's the time when we adjust the length of the fur as well. Let's do it again. So we go into the stitch, take a strand, fold it, place it on the tip of the right needle, and pull this strand through, and then knit it together through the back loop with the stitch sitting on the left needle, just like this. And see, as I was knitting it, my fold moved, and now one piece of the fur is longer than the other. So I'm gonna pull this one and make sure they are of equal length. So it's very easy to adjust. But because we twist stitches by knitting them through the back loop, we firmly lock this piece in place. So if we pull it, see, it doesn't go. So the fur does not unravel easily, even when it gets pulled on occasionally. I find that the edge stitches are better left intact without the fur. This way the edges are much neater than when we add fur to the edge stitches as well. So I'm simply knitting the stitch. To add a strand to a purl stitch, we do a very similar thing. So with the yarn in front, we insert the tip of the right needle into the stitch from right to left for purling. And then we take a piece of yarn, fold it, and place it on the tip of the right needle. Again, if you hold yarn in your right hand, it will be better to do it with your left hand, and if you are a continental knitter, then it's better to do it with your right hand. And then pull that piece through. Again, we keep the stitch on the left needle, and slip it to the left needle, like this. And then we're gonna purl this duo through the back loop. That's not the easiest move, but it's not complicated either. So we need to insert the tip of the right needle from left to right under the back loops of both the stitch and the yarn scrap. And it's easier to do it when you place your needles like this. And then we wrap the tip of the right needle with the yarn as we do for purling. Again, right hand, left hand, doesn't matter. Pull the wrap through, purling these two stitches, kind of a stitch and a yarn scrap through the back loop. And now finally we tighten the yarn scrap to make sure it stays and to make sure that the length of both legs is about the same. Let's do it again. Yarn is at the front. We go into the stitch right to left. Take a piece of yarn, fold it in half, place the fold on the needle, pull it through, keep the stitch on the left needle, slip the piece of yarn to the left needle and purl both the stitch and the piece of yarn together through the back loop. And finally pull the strands to secure this piece of yarn into the fabric. If you add these strands to every stitch of every row, you will make a fairly dense fur. But if you don't want it that dense, you can adjust the thickness of the fur by adding stitches, for example, to every other stitch of every other row. Then the fur will not be as dense. And you can use yarn in different colors, make it an eclectic mix, or you can use yarn in solid color. You can place the colors randomly, or you can arrange them in stripes or even in motifs as they do in carpets. Whatever you choose to do, this type of fabric will make gorgeous cushions. It will look great on collars and cuffs, and it is a wonderful way to use up your yarn ends. If you find this tutorial helpful, please subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon to be notified every time I publish a new video. Happy knitting, my friend. I'll talk to you in the next tutorial.